Rei Ayanami is the archetype you gravitate toward. She's a vacancy, a null point on the feminine spectrum. Within Evangelion's typological framework, she occupies the subtraction position, the negative integer. Absence defines her totality, and it is precisely this absence matrix that colonizes your compromised psyche. Why Rei? The answer is empirically obvious. She is safe. Your neural infrastructure cannot process the friction load of a living partner. The volatility coefficient of another will too high, unmanageable. Your damaged circuitry seeks only the anesthetic properties of compliance. Rei provides exactly this. Intimacy without exposure risk, devotion without demand. She's the waifu of least resistance, made available to the low volition specimen. She's the pacifier, engineered to soothe the spiritually undeveloped male. You mistake her muteness for mystery, her stillness for serenity. In truth, you are staring into your unarrested development, reflected back at you. Her absence of personality licenses your own refusal to grow. Your circuitry, eroded by years of escapism exposure, clings to her silence like a drowning man to driftwood. She represents the illusion of untouched innocence, the fantasy of possession without negotiation protocols, control without confrontational events. This is necrosis dressed as romance, cellular death masquerading as intimacy. Rei exhibits the dual impulse pattern of obedience and auto-erasure, two vectors, same terminus, and your defective pattern reconnection systems mistake this self-obliteration for nobility. You elevate vacancy into divinity. 93.7% of subjects follow this exact pathway. In the collapsing cultural order, the ethereal girl archetype has been mythologized into catastrophe, her fragility is fetishized as purity, her silence canonized as wisdom, her non-existence venerated as the pinnacle of desirability. Rei is a ceremonial doll, and yet, you tell yourself you are the exception, the outlier case. You imagine you will awaken her humanity, extract depth content from her void, draw warmth from her clinical detachment. But your strategy is delusion. A vacuum cannot love you back. This is physics. Your void meets hers, and the result is collapse. Anthropic mating failure, catalogued in the annals of evolutionary irrelevance. In the spectrum of waifu pathology, Rei occupies the terminal position, the cliff edge of developmental arrest. When your apartment grows quiet, when your screens glow into the sterile hours, when the empty bed whispers accusation, Rei will offer her final truth. She was never there to save you. She was there to distract you while life passed by. While your genetic contribution approached zero, Rei is your waifu. She's the proof of your compromised development and unfinished selfhood.